50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, what a three-man weave. Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 612. Today is January 7th, 2026. The boys are back in town, boys. What's going on, boys? How we feeling today?
I'll be honest. I'm feeling great. It's the first time us three been on screen. So I think
like
since
an hour
since
over a year.
I'm gonna say since 2023, 2022. So I'm gonna be honest, that's a blessing. Glad to be here with the original crew. I see Joey got his Seahawks gear on, so he's feeling good. He don't got too much to worry about this week, but he's feeling good. That's glad to see. Still, Joey, I'm glad to be with you guys. Let's get into it.
Yo, good to see you, man. Yeah, I think you're right, E. I think it's been about 2 years. I think
I'm gonna say 3, 4.
I've covered for you a couple times, but we haven't had, the trio in quite a while, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go back and see. I'm
gonna say 2022. I'm gonna say 4 years.
I don't have it off the top, but yeah, this record. This is history in the making. It was overdue, if I'm being honest. I'm glad we could get everyone here.
Coming back hot. We just got off right up saying, yo, we're feeling good. You got to feel a little good about the situation. Maybe not about the coaching, but.
Hey, we'll talk about everything.
Yeah.
We got Sunday Night Football, coaching carousel. I mean, we have 7 head coaching openings, 2 GM openings. We'll talk about that. We got, what a game, Monday night, FCS. What a fucking game that was. We got our final week of power rankings going in to Super Wildcard Weekend. We got semifinal picks between Ole Miss, Miami, Indiana, Oregon. And then, Elvis, before I do, we got a small slate for Thursday for the NBA. Trae Young to the Wizards? That's his preferred
Possibility.
That's just crazy. But, guys, I do want to start. What an ending. 24-26. No one can say anything about Lamar. I mean, he was fantastic. 11 for 18, 238. Outside of that one interception, that was kind of a deflection, just fell into TJ Watt's hands. Derrick Henry, over 120 yards, 8 flowers. You heard Chris Collinsworth? Oh, my God, they left him home again. Like, he broke away for 2 touchdowns.
No Patrick Mahomes reference?
Yeah, literally. So it was good. It just all came down on the rookie, Tyler Loop. He was 1 for 2, and he missed. I don't want to say a chip shot, but it was.
Whoa!
Come on! It should have been automatic.
I hear he has been automatic all year.
Yeah,
I think he had the highest kicker percentage of the season. So
okay, so he's not missing. But I remember in fantasy that he had some letdowns. He wasn't scoring a lot of points. Well, probably because Lamar was hurt.
Yeah. Real quick, just to touch on the kick real quick, and then we break down the game. We just saw on the opposite side, Chris Boswell, who is an elite kicker on his own. Trust me, I have him in fantasy a couple seasons. He's been top 5.
Yeah.
First extra point miss.
He missed his first extra point of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would have thought a 44-yard is a chip shot. I'll be honest, anything further than 35 yards, I was questioning it. So I was kind of skeptical why, with 22 seconds left and another timeout, why John Harbaugh didn't decide, or the offensive coordinator didn't decide to run another play, especially how well the ball was moving in the second half. We saw the breakdowns of the secondary with Pittsburgh's defense. Lamar was eating them up. So I'm surprised with another timeout, instead of kneeling the ball, getting, centered for the kicker, why you didn't attempt another play to get another, 8 to 10 yards. That was my biggest question. But I'll be honest, I think Tyler Loop has no fault. We just saw Chris Boswell miss a kick wide right, and then I can't blame the kid missing wide right, a 44-yarder.
He was 8 for 9 for 40 to 49 yards in the or he was 8 for 8, in the regular season before that kick from 40 to 49 yards. So the only thing he has been skeptical and kind of wary is 50 plus. He's 1 for 4. but
not
20
everyone
to-
has a big leg. Not everyone has a
exactly
big leg.
20 to 29 yard field goal. He's 10 for 10, 30 for 39. He's 11 for 11. Going into that kick, he was 8 for 8 for 40 to 49. So I don't want to be a John Harbaugh apologist.
This man missed 4 kicks all year. Come
exactly.
on.
But I felt for him. Joe, I'll let you get in. What'd you think of the kick in the game?
Yeah, no, you're saying Elvis. It's not the players, right? It came back to Harbaugh. I know you're saying you're not being a John Harbaugh apologist here, D-Rock, but it seems like that's who it comes down to, right? Like the players are ready to maybe try to push one more play into the end zone to try to score, and then they make that decision. He's not a bad coach, but maybe it just came down to X's and O's, right? Like at a certain point, all these guys that are analytical are kind of surpassing him, right? So he was embracing Tyler Loop, the young guy. So yeah, the kick was kind of like you said. I could see it as a layup. I could, being automatic as he is, but we're all human. The human element, like pressure, the moment. Not everyone has that clutch gene. Maybe Tyler Luke doesn't. If this situation happens again next year, we could start questioning whether or not he doesn't have that clutch gene. We know Vinatieri had it. We even know the name that shall not be mentioned, JT, Justin Tucker. He did have.
I was gonna say he's the real winner here.
He did have it. Now he looks good, even though he kind of dug his own grave.
Yeah, my thing is the only reason I'm not gonna, question his clutchness or his ability is just because on the opposite side, 3 minutes prior, we saw Chris Boswell miss his first extra point of the season, wide right, due to the wind. It's not like he shanked it; it was due to the wind. So I'm not shocked that also the following kick for the game winning to win the division also went wide right due to weather conditions. It was 24 degrees, people. It was freezing cold. It was 11 o'clock at night. That ball wasn't going. That ball was not going straight. Yeah. I guarantee that ball was not going straight.
Yeah, I was surprised, honestly. I mean, I was speaking to Dan and Grant, my boys from the DMV, and
I spoke to Dan as well. We messaged each other.
I had hit up my boy Brian. Remember, we took him.
Oh
down
yeah, Brian. Brian's a huge
Mm-hmm.
Raven fan as well. And
I told Dan to stand tall, stand firm. He said he's done, and I was like, nah, man. I was like, this what happened. I said, me and Dylan picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl at plus 700. That's what happened. So I was like, don't be mad at the Ravens.
Like, Lamar,
be mad at us.
Lamar.
Yeah, be mad at us because we picked them.
Yeah, so obviously Steelers, they win. They wind up getting into the playoffs, and they get the 4th seed. They will be hosting a playoff game Monday night against the Houston Texans. We'll go right into the coaching because Black Monday was filled. All these coaches getting fired, and I said, John Harbaugh survived week or
Monday. He was
Monday.
the last one, right? He was the
last one. And then I text Grant, and he goes, I'm out on the team, this, that, and the third. And then when I said, hey, you got what you wanted, John Harbaugh out as the Ravens coach, and he texts me back, he goes, just when I'm out, they bring me right back in.
The Pacino meme.
Exactly. But yeah, John, I'll start with the big one because I think that's the most attractive one. John Harbaugh out. He was the second longest tenured coach behind, obviously, Mike Tomlin, who he just played 18 seasons in Baltimore. He won 8 road playoff games in Baltimore. That's most in NFL history. He was only the 3rd coach in franchise history for Baltimore, 180 and 113 record. He was 13 and 11 in the postseason, and obviously he brought Baltimore a championship. He's going to be the number 1 name on people's radar, as he should be, I believe. Thoughts on them letting him go, and I guess moving forward, Joe, I'll start with you in Baltimore. What do you think?
Who are they going with, man? Not many options, right? I think the pool is rather thin. It's like you see like celebrities like at the top, just like a circus. Like it's just like going back and forth between head coaches here. Off of one team onto another. How could you see kind of used goods? Could see like a Stefanski, the Browns said we're good in the same division. The Ravens are going to be like, oh, we're going to go off Harbaugh and we're going to take him. Like that's a hard pill for me to swallow. You know what I mean? I was trying to look up what I was trying to see how many times John Harbaugh got the Ravens to a 1 seed. Looks like it's only happened twice and rather recent when he had Lamar 2019 and 2023. So, with all that said, he kind of was always playing catch up. Like you're saying, the 8 road wins. Means he always had to play away playoff games. He didn't really secure good seeding to get his team in good positions to host all the way to the playoffs. But, they were always feisty. It's hard playing in Baltimore. If you ever have to go there to play, it's going to be hard. and they're a good road team. And I think that culture that Ozzie Newsome has kind of established there, I think it's going to stay. It's going to stay good even without John Harbaugh. They're a prime. If the Steelers were to get off of Mike Tomlin, they're a prime location for a very pristine head coach, and the Baltimore Ravens are the same in that.
A very established organization, only 3 head coaches in the whole franchise history. How do you move on from a guy like John Harbaugh?
To be honest, I called it on the last pod. I felt like, the time has come for Harbaugh. We all know what he's capable of doing. We all know he's a pretty good damn head coach. There's no denying that. But, the time has come in Baltimore. Now, who do I think could fill the shoes? That's a tough question if you ask me, today, Wednesday. Is there some candidates out there? I don't see them going with Kevin Stefanski. I like Kevin Stefanski. I don't see them going with him. I feel like, Harbaugh is a special teams coach, more of a defensive coach. I feel like they're going to get an offensive guy in there probably to, help boost the offense. We know the defense was riddled with injury, so I'm not really too concerned about the defense when it's healthy. We saw it was one of the worst pass defenses on the football this past year, but that was due to a lot of injuries, so... I'm a couple names I'm gonna throw out. I'm gonna say like possibly like a Brian Daboll. I like Brian Daboll. He's an offensive mind. I think he could do some great things with Lamar Jackson in that offense.
And that's why, real quick, just a button. That's why I mentioned Stefanski. And I don't know if your mic had disconnected.
Yeah, your mic. I texted you. Unplug your mic and plug it back in.
Real quick, the reason exactly to your point why I mentioned Stefanski is, are you going to try to cultivate the remaining years out of Lamar with an offensive guy? Are you going to try to? Mike McDaniel is going to be locked up in Miami, which was a shock. I think we could say that about a lot of teams keeping some head coaches. It's a lot we're on the hot seat. And I think that's what it is. It's, are we going to go offensive, and are we going to try to get the most schematically out of Lamar Jackson? So yeah, I agree with you.
Jump in. What do you got?
Am I back on the mic?
I don't know what's going on.
No, you're not. Real quick, I was gonna throw a name. I was gonna throw a name out. Joe, you let me know what you think. Offensive mind, and I'm talking from Baltimore fans. They want an offensive mind as well. Super Bowl champ Mike McCarthy.
You see, his name's been floated around a lot. You got to hear from the horse's mouth because he's in radio. Does he want to coach? Does he want to get back in?
Yeah, he's interviewing for the Titans. He's interviewing for the Giants. I don't know if the Ravens made a request, but it looks like.
Well, look at McCarthy's tenure. Packers, Cowboys. You see Titans, right? Like, it would be a rather drop off in, like we talked about, the prestige of organizations for a McCarthy to take a Titan job. Yeah, the Ravens are probably on his radar.
Yeah. What do you think about that, E?
Am I back on the mic? Or no?
No, I don't know what it is, but you're good.
You're good. I can hear you.
That's weird. I try to fix it.
You can hear us. It's all good. That's all right.
Yeah. As long as I can hear you guys good. I know I probably sound like shit. I apologize. I don't know what happened, but like I said, I think they're gonna go offensive guy to see if they can take the offense to the next level. Because let's just be honest. It was at times. A lot of inconsistency. We saw a couple weeks ago when Derrick Henry ran for like 140 yards in the first half or something like that, and then again no touches down the stretch of a game in a key loss. So I think it was a good game against the Patriots. So I just feel like there's some question marks on the offensive side, and I feel like they're going to go that way to see if they can even elevate Lamar's play even more. Because I think they can, especially if they can add another wide receiver or two. If they could keep King Henry, I wouldn't mind an offensive head coach going into Baltimore.
Do you boys, I hate to bring this all the way back to the beginning of the season, week 1. Do you think it started there with that last second loss to the Bills?
No.
I think it's a culmination of things.
It's everything. They looked all the way back to that and this kick.
It's due to, even back to losing the AFC Championship game to the Chiefs, which I think we all believe is a winnable game. Last year, Mark Andrews failed 2-point conversion. I understand you can't put the blame on John Harbaugh, but you can put other situations included in that. So it's been a tough few seasons for the Baltimore Ravens, no doubt about that. And I don't think John Harbaugh deserves the majority of the blame. Absolutely not. I just feel like his time has ran out.
Yeah, it's run its course. It's 18 years. At some point, he has to move on. So I think it was just the straw that broke the camel's back, I think, this year. So they had to move on. I don't blame him. He has a lot of love for Baltimore. I think he's going to be one of the sought-out positions for the Ravens and for John Harbaugh. Speaking of it, let's go through the order. I mean, Falcons, they fire not just Raheem Morris, who we called week 9, week 10, but they also fire GM Terry Fortnott as well. So he's gone.
You talk about team continuity. That's their, third or fourth head coach in the last 5 years? The Falcons not keeping the same head coach. That's not good, I think, for health of a young quarterback.
No, not at all. And I talk about the Ravens being a position or a head coaching spot that people want. Look at all the pieces that Atlanta has. You got a wide receiver one. You got Bijan Robinson. You got defensive players as well. I think what people don't like in Atlanta is you don't know about the not the head coach, the quarterback. Is it Michael Penix? Kirk Cousins just took a pay cut a couple days ago. What do you guys think?
Honestly, is my mic good?
No, it's all good.
It's
all good.
Personally, I feel like Raheem Morris, I wasn't never a huge fan of his being the head coach for Atlanta, but I understand he had a late season success, winning 4 straight games. But at the end of the day, when you could honestly question, you have Kirk Cousins, you gave him the massive deal. You might have not been the solo guy who gave him that money, but at the end of the day, you were the head coach when that took place. And then you end up drafting a quarterback with the 7th overall pick that same year. That's a head scratcher. Signing a veteran at $160 million and then drafting a quarterback to compete with him with the 7th overall pick, then another asset that can help Kirk Cousins thrive. That was a head scratcher. Last year, let's not forget, that defense was one of the worst defenses on the football. I had, I think, the worst quarterback pressure rate in football, or bottom 3 pass rush. So there was some reasons why Raheem Morris, not just one. So give credit to him. He did finish the season strong with Kirk Cousins, but I feel like when you have a generational talent in Bijan Robinson, you have a top 10, top 15 wide receiver in Drake London. We saw Kyle Pitts. I understand he's been a little shaky, but he had one of his best seasons this year. When you have that much offensive firepower and you're that mid, I think you not deserve to get fired, but I can see why you got fired.
Yeah.
Real quick, you mentioned the 4-game winning streak. The Falcons are the first team to end the season on a 4-game winning streak since the 2021 Raiders, who won their last 4-game with the Italian-American Rich Bisaccia, who then got fired.
They both fired their head coaches
by John Gruden as well. Then he took over, and then they got Josh McDaniels the next season. They went 6-11, or 6-11. So we'll see what the Falcons end up doing. But I
gotta reach out to my sources and see if we can get a beat on who the next head coach may be for the Falcons.
Yeah, you are down there in the South. So
I got a couple connects too.
By the way, Joe, you did mention, so I'll go right back to you. Kevin Stefanski is out, which, I mean, I don't think it was his fault. The team was bad in Cleveland, but there was nothing he could have done. They threw a lot at him with the whole Shador thing. They didn't really have a quarterback. They didn't have pieces, the whole Deshaun Watson thing. And let's be honest, he really could have thrown a lot of people under the bus, but he chose to take the high road a lot of times. So I think Kevin Stefanski is going to be another name that's going to get an immediate head coach.
See, I agree with our buddy Phil here in the comments that they should go after Stefanski to try to get some offensive continuity. But if the Giants are smart in any sense, they shouldn't have let him out of the building, did they today? I thought they had an interview. Do you hear anything about that?
They did. Yeah, they did.
They let him go. They should have been like, he's hired as the next head coach. But I guess they have to do their due diligence and go through the processes and all that. But if you're smart, like that's why I don't see the Ravens maybe getting him. I think he's going to go out of division. He's not going anywhere in the AFC North.
Joe, not Joe. E, what do you think? Kevin Stefanski gone in Cleveland. Where do you think they go next?
I like Phil's comment. I think Atlanta is a good choice.
That'd be sick, actually.
I won't be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Stefanski waits it out, and I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a year off. Honestly, we've seen coaches take a year off and then get a better job offer the following season. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a year off. We all know what he's capable of doing, but 2-time coach of the year, but. One thing I can honestly say, I think it's a fault on his part. He had the most starting quarterbacks in the NFL since he's been the head coach. I'm pretty sure he had over 12 or 14 starting quarterbacks.
That could be an indictment on the Browns themselves, though, don't you think?
No, but at one point, as a head coach, you got to produce some talent. You gotta develop.
He is a two-time coach of the year, though.
I know, but he's a two-time coach of the year who's yet to develop a successful quarterback in the National Football League. Two things could be true. Two things could be true. So I like Kevin Stefanski. I think he's got it. I'd rather him go somewhere where the quarterback is no question. I don't want him to go somewhere where the quarterback needs to be filled. Because clearly he hasn't had success in the department his whole career. So I would rather see him go somewhere instead of Atlanta. Because right now it's a toss-up. You know, some people want Kirk Cousins. Some people want to go with Kyle Pitts. Maybe some people want to bring a new guy in. Who knows? But if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I haven't had much success with a quarterback. I want to go somewhere where the quarterback is already established.
Yeah, that's why I leave the Giants.
I think it's successful in itself that he lasted 6 seasons in Cleveland. Let's be honest. Since 2009, they've had 3, 4, 5. They've had 6 head coach or 7. Excuse me. He's the 8th one. He's 45-56. He's 1-2. He's the only one that make the playoffs since 2009. Can you guys even name any of these head coaches? I was going to say,
goes to show right here, as a Pats fan, anytime you see the Browns on the schedule that week, are you concerned about really losing? You know what I'm saying? Any other AFC North team, you're kind of like, okay, it's going to be a game, right?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I think the Browns, with their defense, is always live against anybody. Don't get me wrong. Do I love their chances? No, but we've seen it any given Sunday. We saw it 2 weeks against the Steelers, held the Steelers to only 6 points. We saw them early on in the season, held the Green Bay Packers to 10 points. So,
hey, dog of the week last week for me.
Yeah, you know, so I don't think there's ever a doubt what their defense is capable of doing. I think it's always been the question at the quarterback's play. And I'll be honest, I think that falls on the head coach, Kevin Stefanski.
Joe, I'm going to ask you, since 2009, can you name the head coaches up until Kevin Stefanski, who took over in 2020?
I bet you have a better likelihood of naming the quarterbacks.
I know one is Schultz. I think.
Did they have Jim Schwartz there at the helm?
Yeah, Jim Schwartz.
No, they never had Jim Schwartz.
No. Since 2009.
Man. I'm telling you, quarterbacks would probably be better for me, right? 2009, you're probably
so 2009 to 2010, Eric Mangini. My God.
Eric Mangini.
He kind of didn't he not bury the Jets? Didn't he kind of
I know who you're talking.
The defensive guy.
Hugh Jackson.
Shout out Hugh Jackson.
Yeah, shout out Hugh
Jackson.
Jackson.
He went 3-36. So
did he have 0-16 team?
Yes.
He also had Brian Whedon.
That is also true.
He had Brian Whedon.
After
Eric
Mangini, it was Pat Schumer. Then it was Rob Cherdusky.
Bro, I don't recall any of these guys.
Yeah.
I remember Schumer.
Then Mike Patine. Then Hugh Jackson. Then Greg Williams. He was an interim head coach. Greg Williams. Shout out Bountygate. Then they had Freddie Kitchens.
Oh, Freddie Kitchens was horrible.
Terrible.
Who was the coach of McAdoo? Is it Ben McAdoo?
Ben McAdoo.
Who's worse? Is it Ben McAdoo or is it
Freddie Kitchens?
Freddie Kitchens got it. Freddie Kitchens. And then I'm saying they hit a home run with Kevin Stefanski. It lasted pretty longer than I thought.
I said, I think Kevin Stefanski is one of the best head coaches on the open market right now. I think there's no doubt about it. 2-time coach of the year. My only bad thing I could say about him, he's yet to develop a quarterback in the NFL. That's the facts.
Yeah, that's
it's not against him. That's just the truth.
It's not about developing one. You're saying go into an established one.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, he can't develop a quarterback.
Hand up, I was wrong about the Raiders. I didn't think they were going to fire Pete Carroll. He was laughing, chomping on his gum. They fired him after he signed a 3-year deal, but he's gone after 1 year. Since 2021, John Gruden resigned. Then they hired Josh McDaniels. After 1 year, he's out. Then they get Antonio Pierce. He hired. Then he's out in a year. Now Pete Carroll got hired. In a year, he's out. Why would anyone take the Raiders' job?
Because you're going to get Fernando Mendoza as your number 1 pick?
No. Because you might get paid $40 million for 1 year of service. I think that's
1
a great
year
deal
service.
a great deal for anybody.
Hell, you
As
might
of
want to
right
get 10
now,
games in. They'll just buy you out.
Yeah, as of right now in 2026, they're paying 5 head coaches, dating back to John Gruden. He's still on the payroll.
Yeah.
So I think the Raiders have to do a better decision on either being patient or hiring a coach.
Fair point about Phil in the chat. I think that same could be said about the Raiders. Who's the GM
for the Raider? Let me tell you.
How Andrew Barry's kind of failed the GM.
I think Tom Brady has a huge.
He's
role.
John Spidek.
So does Mark Davis.
He took over in early 2025. John Spidek. He's from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He worked closely with Mark Davis. He's a Mark Davis guy.
It's a Tom Brady, Mark Davis, Spidek hiring of the new head coach.
Yeah, and they said Tom Brady's going to have an influence on who they hire next at head coach. But I don't – outside of Brock Bowers –
Phillip Rivers, head coach.
They need to trade Max Crosby and get picks immediately.
They should hit desperation rebuild mode in some facet because – yeah, you're going to be burning through any players you have now. You're already about half the career of Max Crosby.
Yeah, so who do you think wants the Raiders job at this point? I know it's a head coaching job, but like who do you think they go after? Raheem Morris? No, right?
It's going to be somewhere out of left field on this one, man. I feel like it's going to be some hungry young guy. We might not know.
I think Harbaugh's live for the Raiders job.
Oh.
That's somewhere I could say.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment right there.
You know who's not good, and maybe we'll see about the tree and Nick Sirianni, but Jonathan Gannon of Arizona.
So is Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he's gone too. They closed the season on a 9 straight losing streak, and that ultimately cost him his job. He went 15-36 under Arizona did under Jonathan Gannon. They lost 14 of its final 15 games this season. You know what a win for Arizona was when everybody in the division was 2-0 to start the year. We were like, okay.
Yeah. The Cardinals are live.
Yeah, so we knew he was gone. He was the defensive guy. Their defense was terrible. Who do you guys want to see in Arizona?
Oof.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to throw a name out there. He's a defensive guy. I'm gonna go with Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores deserves another chance in this league. I can see him being the Raiders head coach as well. Defensive guy, defensive mindset in Las Vegas. But I'm gonna throw out Brian Flores. I think he did a hell of a job this season with the Vikings. I think he did a great job last year as well. Mm-hmm. And I think he deserves another shot at being an NFL head coach. We all know now that he was kind of coaching with one arm behind his back in Miami, being told to tank, So I think Brian Daboll deserves another shot. I think he proved he's one of the elite defensive coordinators, defensive minds in all of football. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes to either the Raiders or the Arizona Cardinals.
What a call this is for Las Vegas. Bill Belichick as head coach. I don't know. He's not that good in North Carolina. Daboll as OC. And Flores as DC.
I think Daboll. You think he'll try to go for a head coach though over an OC position?
No, I think he'll go back to OC. Get his reputation back up, and then get.
If we're bringing Bill B into the conversation, that's why that may be skeptical about bringing Kurt Segnetti's name if you get Fernando Mendoza, but he's not leaving Indiana in my eyes. No. So Gannon leaving Arizona, like I said, I think this is a type of situation where you can see them trying to go after, trying to get a quarterback, trying to get a new quarterback. And so what are you going to do there? You could say defensively, but they have offensive weapons. Look what in the 10 games Michael Wilson did. You hope that MHJ, comes back and they could have some sort of explosive offense. So I think they're going to go offense with the head coach.
I think it's important to note, though, some people are just better as coordinators. And I know Brian Flores is a great DC, but maybe that's what he is. Maybe, he just isn't a head coach. And I don't think owners are rushing to hire Brian Flores because he just sued the league. Well,
I agree with that. That's, how the NFL owners.
Yeah. They'll blacklist you.
Yeah. So I agree with that, Dylan. But if there's any owner out there that's willing to step outside of the box, It's the Las Vegas Raiders in that
Yeah.
ownership. So, like I said, I think Brian Daboll has shown, proved, and deserves to be an NFL head coach, in my opinion.
We just saw the Dallas Cowboys. They fired Matt Eberflus as their DC, and the Cowboys now they're going to be looking for their fourth different defensive coordinator in 4 seasons. Friend of the show, Aaron Schultz, who created DVOA, I think he said on his Twitter this year's Cowboys defense had the 4th worst defense in NFL history.
Worse than the Raiders, worse than the Jets.
Yeah, like the
Wow.
Jets were only like 21st, 22nd. Like
It's the no interceptions.
It was
that makes
no
it crazy.
turnovers.
yeah, so that's what was bad. But yeah, this defense was terrible, and I think that was the problem because offensively, Dak, George Pickens, CD, the run game was good, and I like Shoddy. I think Brian Schottenheimer is actually a really good coach.
Yes.
It's the defense that held him back. I'll start with you. You're a closeted Cowboy fan. What do you think they should?
I'm gonna say supporter.
Supporter. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I find myself supporting the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Cowboy supporter. I'm not gonna say fan, but definitely wouldn't mind Cowboys making the playoffs from time to time. I think Matt Eberflus. I think the writing was on the wall. That was one of the worst defensives in all of football. We saw it early on. Like they couldn't. They had to win shootouts. Dak had to throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Javonte Williams had to have himself a game just for them to win the game. So I think the writing was on the wall. Early on, letting go of Micah Parsons. They were going to shore up the rush defense. The rush defense wasn't that great. They had one of the worst passing defenses in all of football. So I can see why. If he's not going to get a head coaching job, I'm eager to bring Brian Flores as a DC. If he doesn't get a head coaching job, I think the Cowboys should offer and make Brian Flores one of, if not the highest paid defensive coordinators in all of football.
Yeah, you could look at a Raheem Morris. I'm seeing the list here, names that I forgot about. They were talking big about some of the kids, like some of the, like Shula's and Kubiak's, Clint Kubiak, Chris Shula, some guys. And I see Vance Joseph's name mentioned a couple here.
Yeah, maybe even Jonathan Gannon. He might be live for the DC.
Yeah, I did hear that, Joe. I heard Vance Joseph. We'll see what happens with Denver, but I did hear he is a big name, and maybe he'll get some interviews as head coach because that's a top 3, top 4 defense as well in Denver. So he's
the other 2 guys I mentioned were OCs for probably the past 2 jobs we were talking about, and then like you said, boom, Vance Joseph.
What I thought was really interesting, and this is where I wanted to bring up Brian Daboll because I think this could be a really good fit, and you guys let me know what you think. It was very odd to see the Commanders and Cliff Kingsbury kind of part ways yesterday. And apparently Kingsbury and Dan Quinn, they met yesterday. They agreed to mutually part ways. He wasn't fired. He wants to go in a different route. Offense definitely took a step down this year. Obviously, Jaden Daniels was hurt, and I think that's a factor of it. From everything that I've heard, Jaden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury have a really good relationship, and he did not want Cliff Kingsbury to leave. But I think the year that he was good and they went all the way to the NFC Championship, I think that's an outlier of Cliff Kingsbury because if you look at the sum of how his offenses are run, they're middle of the pack, 15, 16. They're not a top 10 offense. You bring in a guy like Brian Daboll, who's worked with Josh Allen, who knows how to Elvis's point, develop a quarterback. I think to bring in a guy like Brian Daboll in Washington.
Maybe a little bit better, like, Kingsbury, when are we going to call it quits, right? To move on from the experiment that we thought he was going to revolutionize the game with Kyler Murray. Like, you look at Chip Kelly coming into the game, getting a head coach position, being demoted to offensive coordinator. Yeah. He's found himself back in the league, but do you think it might be quits on Kingsbury, as being even in the NFL?
I'll be honest. I think Kingsbury might go back to college and get a head coaching job in college.
You make a shitload of money too.
Oh my God! Yeah, even quarterbacks, even players are thinking about going back to college again.
Yeah, I think he's a good offensive mind. I think his system works possibly better in college, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an interview or 1 or 2 interviews for a head coaching job. I just don't see a team pulling the trigger on him, especially with all these other coaches available.
Yeah. We also saw, and we saw the first year of Ben Johnson not be good in Detroit. Lions announced that they parted ways with their offensive coordinator, John Morton, as well. We saw about week 13, week 14 down the stretch. We saw that Dan Campbell, he wound up taking over play calling in Detroit as well. First year for John Morton, out as OC. So they got an opening as well. So who do you think they go out and hire as OC, Joe?
Did you boys hear that that conversation they had about those guys where they shouldn't have let Ben Johnson out of the door? That MCDC should have stepped down as head coach and became the team president of the Lions and made Ben Johnson the new head coach.
Who said that?
Man, I forgot, but I saw maybe it was in the sports talk radio. Maybe I shout out the New York guys, but at the end of the day, it just came across like that. They should have never let Ben Johnson out the door, made him the head coach, and promoted DC to team president.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, Joe. That sounds good. There's no doubt that Ben Johnson is one of the better play callers in all of football.
But now he's in Chicago.
Yeah, I think he proved that in Detroit, and then look what he did with Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears in just one season. They're the number 2 seed. They won 11 games. I'll be honest, that's impressive. Especially after there was a lot of question marks about Caleb Williams after his rookie season. I think all of those questions have been answered after this season with Ben Johnson. So, it makes sense. I'll be honest, it sounds good, but I think Brian Daboll is a hell of a coach. Dan Campbell is a hell of a coach as well. So, to me, that would have been a tough decision to make if I was an owner or GM, but I would have definitely tried everything in my power to keep Ben Johnson as the offensive play caller for the Detroit Lions. So, tough spot, but maybe, I'm going to throw out his name again. If he doesn't get a head coaching job, maybe Brian Daboll, maybe Cliff Kingsbury as well. I think they're gonna want somebody because we know what that offense is capable of doing. We saw them start the season, one of the highest scoring offenses all of football. I think they have the most 50-point games over the last 3 seasons. You could credit that to some of Ben Johnson as well, but there's no denying. Almonte Brown, a top 10 receiver. Jameis Williams is one of the better complementary pieces in the NFL. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery still considered one of the best running back duos in all of football. And let's not forget, people, Jared Goff is nothing to laugh at. I understand he might not be elite. He might not be a MVP caliber quarterback, but he's pretty damn good if you ask me. So I think any offensive coordinator will be licking their chops if they're able to get the job in Detroit, just because they have so much offensive firepower. Well, another guy was throw out there, which I don't know why he doesn't get a lot of love, but Eric Bieniemy. Wouldn't be surprised if I see Eric Bieniemy in one of these open vacancies as an offensive coordinator. We saw what he was able to do with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid all those seasons. Give him a shot with that Detroit offense and see if it thrives.
And then 2 real quick. I was surprised that Cincinnati kept Zach Taylor, and then we got word about 40 minutes ago, maybe about an hour now, but Todd Bowles is returning. He met with ownership on Tuesday, and they are expected to make coaching changes, but he is staying in Tampa. I was surprised at both, honestly.
I was surprised about Aaron Glenn.
To be honest, I think if there's any, I'm not going to say any, but out of all the coaches that were like, oh, he kept his job, I'm not mad at Todd Bowles. I think he's still pretty damn good. Don't get me wrong.
They ended the season baddie.
No.
It was a bad ending, yeah. What collapse was worse, that or the Colts?
He deserved most of the blame for what happened, what transpired to end the season, because the defense was atrocious. You understand? Offensive side, you dealt with injuries throughout the season, but the last 4 or 5 games of the season, y'all majority healthy. So, got to put majority of the blame on the defense and Todd Bowles, but the man won, 3-4 straight division titles. He changed the franchise around. I think Todd Bowles, I understand, did not end good this season. I agree with 100% on that. But I think he at least deserves another year or 2 as a head coach.
Supposedly one of the best offensive lines in the game. Baker was sure as hell running a lot this year. Am I wrong?
And he was hurt. You could tell he was playing hurt as well.
And I think that did a little bit to him, because you can't keep the defense on the field the entire game. And I think that means Bowles is a little handicapped in that. So it's like you would expect maybe for them to try to harness what they have on the offensive side of the ball. But, he's always going to keep them fighting. Like, this is a team that's always been in, the playoff hunt, right, for his tenure in Tampa. So it's, as I argued for the Falcons, maybe you keep some continuity at the head coach. You don't just move on, and there goes the Jets argument.
I'll go around and I'll start with you. Out of the teams that need the head coaching position, who do you think is the most desirable head coaching spot?
Head coach or spot?
Head coach. Or no, head coaching spot.
Oh, okay. Team-wise.
Yeah, team-wise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give two answers. I'm gonna say, as an offensive guy, I think Atlanta is looking very promising. And, I understand there's a kind of question mark with the quarterback there, but you got a lot of offensive talent. If you could just nail the quarterback and get it right, I think there's a lot of potential in Atlanta. And then if you're a defensive guy, if with the top pick, I'm going to say the New York Giants. You're going to get, most likely, I'm not going to guarantee it, but you should draft Mendoza with the first overall pick, right?
Hopefully
the Raiders.
They don't.
I'm sorry. I apologize. The Raiders. You should draft Mendoza with the first overall pick. You have the Raider culture. You have Tom Brady in the ownership group. You have a loyal fan base. Brand new stadium. I think if I'm an offensive guy, I want to go to the Raiders and develop Mendoza to the quarterback of the future, because I think he's elite. I think you guys would agree his potential's throughout the roof. So if I'm an offensive guy, I want the Raiders job because I'm going to get a hell of a quarterback with the first overall pick. And then if I'm a defensive guy, I hate to say it, but maybe Cleveland.
Joe, what do you think?
To me, the Browns are the last place. Like, that's the last place you want to go as a head coach. I think it shows that they're like a black hole in terms of your career. And you have Shedeur Sanders, unfortunately, all the questions that's going to bring in, and then what to do with Myles Garrett being as dominant as he is and getting nothing out of his career. I think there's going to be a lot of question marks for the Browns position. So that's going to be at least 1-1. I would say the Raiders is a question mark, Titans are a question mark, and Cardinals are a question mark. So it's the talent you have on offense between both the Giants and the Falcons. I think the Falcons are probably established a little bit more there. But you worry about the defensive side of the ball. And so I think I agree with Elvis. I think the Giants may be the most wanted position in the biggest market with the quarterback that we see all this potential in that you don't have in the Falcons. And also the defense is looking like they're rising. Scat, Neighbors. I mean, it looks like they can do a lot. Even Theo Johnson seems to be a good tight end. So, I mean, I would say the Giants is the best.
I'm going to throw a curveball, and I thought the Atlanta is extremely down for me. And yes, they have pieces, but the reason why is the unknown at QB position for me. You don't know what you have. Are you going to go all in with Michael Penix? Are you going to trust a 40-year-old? Me?
Titans.
I like the Titans. I really do.
It's Cam Ward, but nobody else.
And I'll say another pushback on Atlanta, you don't have a draft pick this year. So that hurts them as well. You gave it to the Rams for fucking Michael Penix. Anyway.
Yikes.
I like Tennessee and I like the Giants. You have a quarterback. Giants, you have pieces. You're getting Malik Neighbors back. You're getting your running back. I forgot his name. Cam Scatterboos. Yeah, they got a front seven that's gonna get home. Secondary needs to improve, but you got a quarterback. And obviously the Ravens have Lamar, and I think that's an established position. Yeah. But I would say young teams, Giants and Titans. I think
I like the Titans. I do. Bro, Cam Ward, it's like, you know what? As we always talked about, and we know this, us three, you invest in the O-line. Maybe even if you don't have weapons around him, maybe if you could protect him and just hold him for 3 more seconds, maybe he can get some shots and show his talent. Cam Ward can.
And they have they have the 4th overall pick. They're going to go out and get him some help. They have cap room as well. Jeffrey Simmons is still on the defensive end that could get home. He's a beast.
Yeah, that dude's
He's a beast. They have guys, and Atlanta, they have pieces, no stability at quarterback. And you boys have watched football your whole life. What do you need to win in this league? a quarterback.
Offensive line and quarterback. Yeah, you're not gonna protect that guy. But you remember, hey, only outliers. Your Patriots when they put Matt Castle in because you didn't protect Brady is the only time a team I can remember that had a winning season without their quarterback. So
yeah,
and we missed the playoffs.
And you missed the playoffs that year. That was just a curse. But one thing too, and maybe we're a year or two ahead of the curve. But just keep an eye out for the Chiefs, man. I wonder what's going on over there. No Mahomes this year, and then is Reed going to retire? Where's Spagnuolo? He might be wanted, right? He still wants to stay alive. He's a guy.
I think Spagnuolo is content being a DC for the rest of the
100%. But maybe he wants to leave there if they're going to restart. Maybe that happens.
Steve Spagnuolo is the best defensive coordinator in my lifetime.
100 Giants, Chiefs.
He's a winner. This guy wins wherever he goes.
5-time Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, you better put some respect on Steve Spagnuolo now. Oh, we support Spagnuolo over here. And he's an Italian American. Of course, we're gonna respect him. By the way, I came home Monday and stupid enough, I'm like, fuck, what do I watch? There's no Monday Night Football. But we had the FCS championship, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot I have money on this game.
That's all I've been talking about.
Illinois State had a chance to. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but the end of the game was fucking insane. They dominated the second half, Illinois State, 14 points to 0 in the fourth quarter. They're just dominating the game. And then they had, again, I was going to say a chip shot with like a minute or like 50 seconds left. And the guy misses right.
There's no gimmies.
No gimmies. He misses right. Game goes into overtime. Illinois State gets the ball. They score immediately. Get the extra point blocked, and I'm like, oh, they lost because Montana scored, and then they hit the point after, and they win. Game goes over the total, but we cover the 10.5. Kid E, we handicapped this game perfectly.
Yeah, and, I'm not a huge college guy, but I was like 10.5 is too many points for a college game, especially for the Cinderella team. So I think the game was electric, not for nothing. I think like Dylan called it perfectly. He said Montana State is a 4-quarter team, and sure they were, and showed up in overtime as well. So I think for the FCS, it was a hell of a championship.
I didn't know only 5 minutes in the fourth quarter team.
Yeah, literally.
That's all they needed.
Yeah, to win the game. I mean, it was insane. It was electric. It was back and forth. And some of these guys on FCS teams, they have just amazing names. Like one of the running backs for Montana State, Taco Dwowler.
We got to get the
what?
Key and Peele skit going back.
Is it Taco like T-A-K-O?
No, T-A-C-O.
Parents got to do better.
No, his name, his original. The story is so crazy. His original name is, I don't want to say it's Jeremiah, but it's Jermaine or it's something. And then he wanted to go by Taco, and his him and his
it was Taco.
So him and his brother were like, oh, I'm going to go by Taco and Burrito or something. They wanted to be funny. And then his brother lasted for like 6-7 months. And then his dad was like, oh, what do you want for breakfast? And Taco goes, my name is Taco. And ever since then, he's gone by Taco. And his ESPN, his name is Taco Dwowler.
Oh, that's great.
Yo, you're a legend. Like,
the name.
I hope he gets drafted.
Just as I said, you heard it's like a Key and Peele skit all over again. Literally. Yo, E, if this isn't though to prove that we should maybe get the group of 5 out of the Power 5 with a game like this, it makes me think that imagine if like Tulane and JMU had like games with their level of competition, like we would have an amazing tournament on that side. So
it needs to be expanded to 32 teams.
I think separate them. We're seeing it time and time again. I think it's to a point where it's going to be hard to compete with the big boys. The money is speaking for itself. So get the group of 5 out. Let them have their own. Let's have FCS, group of 5, and Power 5, and we can have 3 amazing basically playoff tournaments.
You could jump in, but my one pushback on that is if you look at Indiana, their whole team is JMU. They're all Power 5 guys except Fernando Mendoza. So the Power 5s deserve to be in. I love you, Joe, but I disagree with that.
I like the pushback. Okay, that's fair.
My thing is, don't get me wrong, I appreciate, the extended of the playoffs. I think we all agree on that. 4 teams early on was too little. 8, not enough. 12 might be the right number. But this is what I said early on when this all happened. They're just going to want more and more.
And more, man.
And that's the issue. Don't get me wrong. I'm for it. But it's gonna get to a certain point where you gotta stop. Are we gonna want the NFL to extend it to 16 teams next year?
Might as well 20 games in a season. I mean, these players are gonna talk about the injuries we had this year. We're gonna have nobody left.
You think the NFL's not gonna extend it? They're going up, baby.
I'm just saying, like, you can't keep
careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. You can't keep asking for more.
My thing was last year it was too small because there was
when it was 4, it was too small.
Yeah. Even last year when it was 8, there was not enough good teams. And now this year there were too many good teams. I thought there were at least like 15, 16 teams that deserved to be in, and there was only 12. Honestly, 32 teams is a little OD, but I think maybe like 24. There has to be more, though, I think.
I say 12 is fine. If you want to push it up to 16, I wouldn't be, mad about it, but I think 12 is fine.
We got a comment. If people are worried about what to do if someone loses their conference championship, then make the conference championship be the 2-3 team in the conference, basically playing a play-in game. Joe, what do you think about
the championship game?
Yeah, it does. It does a little bit, I think.
At the point, was no point of playing that game then. You could just kind of put them in, like you said, an expanded tournament.
Well, shout out Duke. They won the ACC and they didn't even get in.
I mean, 4 losses will do that to you.
So, yeah, Duke.
I mean, that's a good question to pose, but like you said, it would completely diminish the championship game. Why even have these conferences? At the point, you could just do an umbrella NCAA, not have the Pac-10 because they don't exist anymore.
There's no Pac-10. There's a Pac-2.
I'm saying, look what happened to them. At this point, if we're going to have no conference championships, then dissolve all the conferences.
I think we all witnessing, the college aspect change in front of our eyes. And maybe, what the system is now. First of all, what the system was 5 years ago ain't what the system is today. And maybe another 5 years from now is going to change as well.
They're hypocrites, they're hypocrites, bro. They gave SMU the death penalty 30-something years ago because they were paying players $61,000. Hey, now look what they're getting, $10 million.
10 mil. The one thing, last thing on the college thing, the one
they
thing
took
I hate
Reggie Bush Heisman away.
That's right. Gave it right back to him.
Yeah. One thing I hate about college kids now, they're in negotiation and coming back to school. What the fuck is that?
It's just
coming back. I don't want to hear
school,
that,
bro. It's just
one thing I don't love. I don't mind college players getting their money by all means.
Me either.
But to me, the transfer portal has to be a 2-year window. You can't just go to one school and then try to transfer 6 months later. To me, that's whack. I think if you transfer, if you're already a transfer, you have to be at that year 2 years minimum. To me, you can't just transfer. I don't want any player. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind you getting your money. I'm all for you getting paid. But I don't want, these 5-star recruits to play on 4 teams in 5 seasons. No, that's kind of, to me, that defeats the purpose.
They're not pros.
People are collecting the NIL money and leaving in a couple months and going to another team and collecting money.
Yeah, to me, that's whack. If you made the commitment, especially in college, I think it's a 2-year window.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to retransfer for another 2 seasons. Yeah. You're either going to play those 2 seasons or cancel your eligibility if you don't want to play.
If we're talking college has tradition. If we're talking tradition carries loyalty, and there should be so.
No.
I feel like we're changing the sport, and I don't want to change it drastically.
Too much. Yeah, that was unrecognizable. Come on now.
Kid, let's get to our Week 18 final power rankings. I am very interested to see where we all land. They're all playoff teams. Now, obviously, they're all not going to be in it. Yes, they should.
That'd be a great. I got the Jets in my top 10.
Now, not all of them, obviously, because we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What do we have? 14 teams in the playoffs. I'm going to start, and then we'll go to Joe, and then we'll go to E, and then we'll just keep it going round robin. I'm going to start with number 10. I wanted to put them higher, but when we got to this point, they're all really good teams, and I am biased towards Justin Herbert, but I'm going to put the Chargers here at number 10. I think if their offensive line was better, I think they'd be a Super Bowl contender, if I'm being honest. I think the AFC is extremely hard right now.
Marion Hampton back at all? Did he get
He is. Yes, he's back as well. I think the receiver Keenan Allen had a good year as well. Obviously, we love Jim Harbaugh. I think if anyone loves football, it's Jim Harbaugh.
Imagine he hires his brother.
That'd be amazing.
He had big brothers, his big brother.
But yeah, I worry about the offensive line. I worry about the defense, and we got to see it from Justin Herbert. I think the criticism on him in the postseason, it's valid. It's fair. He threw 4 picks last year against Houston. So he needs to come back this year. They got a tough task in New England. By the way, Sunday night prime time is terrible for that game, in my opinion. I know you don't like that. I thought they should be Saturday night.
As a Patriots fan, I love it.
Yeah, obviously. But I'm saying Saturday night would have been perfect, but that's neither here or there. But I just think the defense worries me a little bit. Justin Herbert has to prove it to me. Until he does, I got the Chargers at 10.
Real quick, before you butt in, I see Artist Fillmore with another comment, and it's about that the Seahawks making the Super Bowl with the Popes being elected, but I debunked that immediately because if you don't recall, the year they won the Super Bowl with the new Pope being elected, the year after they met back and lost to the Patriots, so it doesn't matter about making the Super Bowl and the Pope's connection.
All right, who's your number 10?
I put the Bills. I put the Bills ahead of the Chargers. Remember, I had the Chargers in last week. Yeah. I just did not like what I saw. He was right. Everything they did came to fruition. Put Trey Lance in and just completely took a sleep and a back step on week 18. So I was off of that, and I dropped him out of my top 10 because of it. The layover and take it is not my type of team.
Yeah, at number 10, Dill, I agree with you. But the only reason I couldn't put him in my top 10 is because of the offensive line. There's too many injuries. If Slater and Alt were there, I agree with you. I think
that might be a top 3, top 5 team.
Yeah, I think they'll have a shot. I agree with you 100%, but I feel like I just couldn't put him in my top 10. I like Justin Herbert. I think he's pretty damn great. I like what the wide receiving core became. I didn't love him preseason, but I like what they're able to become. And defensively, they're all right. I just couldn't go there with top 10. At number 10, give me the 2 seed. Give me the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams still. I'm pretty sure they led the NFL in turnovers. DeAndre Swift, Managa is good. The only reason they're not higher on my list is because what is Rome Medusa? Is he going to be playing? Is he going to be 100%? DJ Moore. I like the emergence of Loveland as of late. He's been good. I put the Bears at 10. I love their chances, but they might be one and done. Give me Chicago at 10.
At number 9, I got Chicago as well. They might be one and done. I like Caleb Williams. I think he's gotten a step better from Ben Johnson. I worry that they don't get pressure on the quarterback. That is my worry. I think they have a tough task here against Green Bay and Matt LaFleur, another name who, I don't know. There are some coaches that are going to be fired here, even in playoff teams, I think.
Yep.
Matt LaFleur is a hot name. Mike Tomlin, he seems like he's always on the hot seat. Sean McDermott of Buffalo always seems like he's on the hot seat. So we'll see there. But Green Bay just has their number, and I just think, I don't know. I really don't know. I think Matt LaFleur is a better coach, and not diving too deep into the matchup, but I just think this is a tough task for them. I like Chicago. I think they're a year or two early for what they've done, 11-6 winning the division, but I worry. I like Kyle Monunga. I like Swift. I think they have a really good run game. I just think if Caleb Williams can't be like Superman, kind of like Josh Allen sometimes, I worry about the defense making a stop. So I think they're a nudge better because I trust the offensive line more than I do the Chargers. But I got Chicago at 9.
And at 9, I got the 49ers. They went all the way from the 1 for me to the 9 because, I mean,
that's a flop, Joe.
Yeah,
that's a flop.
You literally had the opportunity to get yourself into 1 seed and be the host to the playoffs in the Super Bowl. You would have been at home. And look at the record of teams that are hosting now. The Buccaneers in 2020, pretty sure the Rams when they won. And then you would have had the San Francisco 49ers this year. And the likelihood would have been that, hey, you would have had a lot of advantages going to that Super Bowl. But now you set yourself up for the toughest matchup. I think the toughest playoffs game across the AFC and the NFC is the Eagles against the 49ers. In Philly, I think that's going to be a tough, and I think it knocked them down a big peg. So, yeah, I put the Niners at 9.
At number 9, give me the Houston Texans. Didn't love them not finishing strong. They did get the walk-off win to shut out the Texans over the Colts, but I would have loved to see CJ Stroud finish the game. Just because the offense is really the question. Will the offense be able to, I understand they got the Aaron Rodgers Steelers week 1, but can that offense complement the defense? We already know that defense is pretty damn great. There's no doubt about it. It's just, can CJ Stroud and that offense show up and show out? That's the biggest question. I like Willie Marks. I like the rookie young Jordan as well. I love the wide receiver core. I think they're loaded with talent.
Hey, Nick Chubb's still there, right? Isn't he playing?
I think he's a third option. So I like D'Amico Ryans. Give me the Houston Texans at number 9.
Yeah, I got Texans at number 8. 3 straight years D'Amico Ryans has made the playoffs, and I think the defense is as advertised. I like the young receivers that they drafted as well. My one concern is CJ Stroud. They have a dud as they did a few weeks ago, and the defense kind of doesn't play good. I worry that they could be 1 and out. I think Pittsburgh has a shot against them in round 1 as well.
35 years not losing a home Monday night game.
So yeah, great stat. I worry about this team. I think the defense, they're only good as how far the defense carries them. Yeah. So we'll see. Big fan of CJ Stroud, but he's gonna have to prove it. Give me Texans at number 8.
Texans at 8. I'm doing that matchup. I got to put these guys, and you got to take in mind like why I put these guys a little behind where I had them placed is because, the weeks still count. Week 18, a couple of these teams had losses going into the playoffs. So, and that one of those teams were the Eagles. Easily could have beat this in-division rival, the Commanders, in week 18, and they wound up losing in a game that would have put you in a better seeding position, not having to pace the 49ers, because just as hard as it is a game for the San Francisco 49ers, it's going to be for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I have the Eagles at 8.
At number 8, give me the Buffalo Bills. I understand dominating win against the Jets. Give them credit on that, but what we saw 2 weeks ago, week 17, I didn't really love. James Cook, pretty sure he led the NFL in rushing. That was a bright side.
Yep.
Now, can the weapons? This is why I got him at number 8. Who on the outside? I know we saw Brandon Cooks make some plays. I saw Gabe Davis got a touchdown the other day. Yeah. We know Dawson Knox and Kincaid is pretty damn good as a
It's combo. A tight end kind of offense.
Yeah. Who come playoff, you're going to have Stanley Jr. What's my boy from Jacksonville? He's that defense, that secondary is pretty damn good. I think that the Buffalo's going to have a tough time against that secondary. And my biggest question is, if Josh Allen can't be Superman, who's going to step up? If James Cook and Josh Allen can be contained, who on the outside can step up? Is it going to be Keon Coleman? Is it going to be one of these receivers? I got to find out. For now, give me the Bills at number 8.
How are the Bills favored in that one? Have they been?
I think out of respect,
Yeah, that's fair.
Last time we saw Trevor Lawrence in the playoffs, didn't he blow a 20-point lead, something like that?
You're right, and Josh Allen could do it all himself.
Exactly. So I think there's no doubt. I think all of us would agree the Jaguars are the hotter and better team right now, but I think we could all answer the question, would you rather have Trevor Lawrence or Josh Allen? I think the answer is fucking clear.
Maybe a hobble Josh Allen, though, right?
Plus 550. My pick to come out of the AFC is the Jaguars. Little preview of who I like the first and super wild card weekend. But at number 7, give me the Bills. To your point and to the market, I understand why they're the favorite. Do I think they should be the favorite? No.
Yeah.
But I think they ended the season pretty strong. Josh Allen is fucking Josh Allen. Defense is coming along pretty well. Running game, James Cook had a hell of a season as well. So I think they got some pieces. And he's going to try to win it by himself. I just don't think that's going to be the case against the new and improved Duval County. Give me the Bills at 7.
Bro, that's got to be like 2025 review of the year. Liam Cohen getting hired as head coach. Duval. Yeah, I had to fit in the Bears at 7 for me. Like I said, all those 7 through 9 teams coming off of losses going into the playoffs, and regardless if you sat some starters, I don't think that's good backing into the playoffs. So Bears have a little more favorable matchup, but it is in-division rival that knows them well. So it's still going to be tough sledding for them at home. But if anyone could do it, it could be this year's Bears. So I put them in at 7.
At number 7, given the Philadelphia Eagles, I think there's no doubt what we know they're capable of doing. It's just, can the offense execute it? There's no doubt they have a top 5-ish, definitely a top 10 defense. No doubt about that. It's just will their offense, will Jalen Hurts in that offense thrive, or will they sputter a little bit? Are we going to see Saquon Barkley average, 75 plus rushing yards per game in the postseason like we saw last year? Or are we going to see Saquon what we saw middle of the season where he really wasn't going nowhere fast? I think this is going to be the toughest task for the Eagles, especially against the 49ers, because we already know the 49ers. I understand the struggles last week, but we know the 49ers offense is most likely going to show up. The question is, will the Eagles offense show up? For now, giving the Eagles at 7. I got a lot of respect for them, but their offense has been the biggest question mark all season.
At number 6, give me the Philadelphia Eagles. I had to put them up there. I know it might be a little high, but I trust Nick Sirianni. He's a winner. I trust Jalen Hurts. He's a Super Bowl champ as well.
I love this shit.
Exactly. And I don't think a lot of people love it more than he does. And in a dome, Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown, the defense is top 5 in the postseason. So I don't worry about Vic Fangio's defense. And I think offensively they're gonna get it together here. So I got a lot of faith in them. They just won the Super Bowl last year. I got the Eagles at number 6.
That matchup scared. Like low key, don't you feel like Saquon's like gonna go crazy in that first game?
That's why I don't have spoiler. I don't have the 49ers in my top 10.
Oh yeah, I that's why they dropped so significantly for me, because I think that Eagle team is a sleeping giant. So at 6, I put the Rams. I think you get that win, you cover the spread. Good teams win, great teams cover. I think they're hot coming into the playoffs, and definitely going to be favored over 10 points on the road in Carolina. I know when they faced off earlier in the year, it was really a little close, right? But I feel like it's going to be a different ball game here in the playoffs. So outside of my top 5, but I got the Rams looking in 6.
At number 6, give me the San Francisco 49ers. Honestly, they had a tough week 18 against the Seahawks. But prior to that, they won 4 straight games, averaging 32 points a game. You can't deny that.
I went too crazy with my draft, was what you're saying.
Christian McCaffrey, I'm pretty sure, was top 2 in total yards in the NFL. Brock Purdy was playing like an MVP.
He was in the top 10 for receiving yards, I'm pretty sure.
He had a hell of a season. Brock Purdy was playing like an MVP to close out the year. He was.
Let's not forget about Mac Jones.
And not for nothing, I forgot to mention this during the coaching segment. I think your boy Robert Saleh might be in the conversation for a head coach for the job he's done with all those injuries on the defensive side. So don't get me wrong. A quick look ahead. I love the 4.5 plus 4.5 come wild card weekend. Give me the San Francisco at number 6. I'm not going to let a tough divisional matchup discourage me from this team. I still think the San Francisco are live for the NFC.
At number 5, give me the Los Angeles Rams. Nice bounce back win here, and they finished in second place in that division. And I just think this team, another sleeping giant. I think they're gonna come in, take care of business in Carolina. They got the MVP of the league in Matthew Stafford. They got a 2-headed monster in both the backfield and on the outside. With Devontae Adams is going to come back. He's healthy. He hasn't played in a few weeks.
We've seen Blake Corum be able to run the ball.
Exactly. With him and Karen Williams. And defensively, I think they're going to be able to get home as well. So I think this is a sleeping giant, and we're going to get that rematch between the Rams and Seahawks in round 2. So, yeah, I got not Carolina. I got LA at number 5.
I could have flip-flopped these two, but in my top 5, I put the Texans in there because I had them winning the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season. I saw them as a dark horse. I like DeMeco Ryans. I like that defense. I argue one of the best this year, which was an all-time high for some of these defenses flying around. I like the Texans. I think their offense, if they click, they could be unstoppable. And really nobody wants to play them. Even a team like the Steelers where, history is on their side. So maybe Texans have a chance to beat history.
At number 5, Joey, this is my dark horse team in the preseason. Give me the Denver Broncos. Don't get me wrong, as a Patriots fan, don't love it. But I had a feeling about this team early. Yeah, I had a feeling about this team early on. Don't get me wrong, I still have questions about their offense. Can they outgun, Josh Allen in Buffalo? Can they outgun the Patriots? Can they outgun Jacksonville? Can they outgun, CJ Stroud and these other guys? That's my thing. Don't get me wrong. I know what Sean Payton is capable of doing as a head coach. I think Bo Nix has made us all a believer, but I think we got to come see it come playoff time. I think not for nothing, home field advantage is going to work wonders for them. I think they earned that and they deserve that.
Will the bye though? It seems like the buys.
Yeah, maybe the bye stutters test, but give me the
College
Broncos.
to pros.
Yeah, give me the Broncos at number 5. Don't get me wrong, I have a ton of respect for them, but like I said last week's pod, I think this is the least dominating number 1 seed in recent history. Give me the Broncos at number 5. Gotta respect them.
I'll say this: they are playing with fire, but 5 is something. At number 5, at number 4, give me the Jaguars to come out.
That's where I got them.
See, I love them. I think Trevor Lawrence is playing the best ball of his career right now. Liam Cohen is definitely the guy. Defense is playing well. They can stop the run. What does Buffalo like to do? They want to run the ball. They're not going to be able to do that. And I think they have a good path here to the Super Bowl as well. I think they're going to be able to stop Denver as well if they get past Buffalo. So love that. I love the pickup with Jacoby Myers as well. I think they got a ton of talent. Travis Etienne running the ball is really good. They're just gelling. They're the hottest team right now. And I don't think you talk about teams not wanting to play Houston, Joe. I don't think teams want to play Jacksonville right now. So I'm all in on Jacksonville. They're my pick to host the AFC and maybe win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they might have a little harder matchups as they go ahead if they keep winning. But if I had the Texans in the top 5, I have to put the division winners ahead of them in the Jags, and they might be even hotter than the Texans, maybe even more fearful of a team for playing them. But I got something for you. Obviously, they're going to be number 4 here in the list, but might be looking at the under in that, even though it's down in Jacksonville, it's in Duval County. You got to think James Cook, NFL's leading rusher, and how the reemergence Liam Coleman has done for Travis Etienne. That it's going to be run heavy, try to not put it all on the quarterbacks and let those defenses work, and whose defense will outcome. I do think that Jacksonville's might be slightly better. So I would be going for the under in that matchup and probably taking the points if Jags are getting any.
For the first time in history, we have a trio at number 4. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think there's no doubt Jacksonville Jaguars deserve to be a top 4 team, top 5 team in the NFL after what we witnessed over the last 5, 6, 7 weeks of the NFL season. I think they're 8-1 or 7-1 with Jacoby Myers. He's been a great addition to this team. I'm not sure any news deal if you have on Travis Hunter, if he's going to be playing in the Super Wild Card weekend. And if he is, I think that's going to be a major boost for the defense and offense, and possibly even special teams. So I think Jacksonville is going to be a wrecking this playoffs and possibly many years to come with Cohen at the helm. So give me Jacksonville at number 4.
Nice. That's crazy.
No news, but I don't know. They never ruled him out for the season, but
yeah, if he doesn't play this weekend, he's out for the season.
Ooh,
Travis Hunter. He hasn't played since week 7.
Oh, I thought that was a season-end injury. I thought they were getting second opinions, and it came out he needed surgery, and he was out.
Oh no,
he got put on IR.
IR.
It was just IR, no second opinion, no surgery.
Yeah,
he got put on IR. He didn't even have surgery.
Wow.
At number 3,
I think we can agree, D. It's going to be the Patriots.
It has to be the Patriots.
It has to be the Patriots.
Yeah, just because I gotta respect the 2 number 1s.
Yes.
So I had to put the Patriots. Outside of Christian Gonzalez, I mean, they don't have a Pro Bowler on that team outside of Drake May. So it's I think they're a good team. I think collectively Mike Vrabel will get the boys going, and I think they're going to be able to stop the run. But it seems like Mike Vrabel is going to trust Ramondre Stevenson, the veteran, over the rookie, which E and I have discussed. We like the rookie over Ramondre Stevenson, but I don't know.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
it is a good problem to have. I'd rather have problems.
That's a good spin zone. I appreciate that as a Patriot fan. But yeah, they just don't have that guy, and but it hasn't really mattered. They win.
They got Drake May. He's that guy.
I know he's that guy. So And obviously, I have the Broncos at 2 and Seahawks at 1, but I had to put the ones at 1 and 2. And Joe, I think you're the same.
Yeah, if you could put this legal troubles past them, like how
innocent until proven guilty.
Yes,
please.
but if you could put it past you, like what happened with the Rams as well, then and just focus on football, then you got a really good machine that's rolling right now. I don't think you really want to play the Patriots as well. They're a hot team. They're rolling offensively. They can beat you. You can see that they're also step on your neck when you're down type of team. And I think Vrabel's preaching that. And Drake May is just a guy to practice what Vrabel's preaching. So I think they have a lot of pieces cohesively working. This is a really complete team. And, depending on what happens, right, they could wind up hosting if the Broncos fall off. So they deserve to be the 3. And I just had these 2 AFC teams below, one of these teams.
At number 3, give me the Los Angeles Rams. I think after not seeing Devontae Adams for a couple of weeks, don't get me wrong, I think Matthew Stafford, like I said last pod, I hope people took it, minus 130 at the time. As of right now, I think he's minus 185 for the MVP. So I hope y'all put the tickets in. You're welcome. I like the Rams' chances. Honestly, I love the Rams' chances. They gave the Philadelphia Eagles their biggest battle last season in the playoffs in a blizzard. Now, going into Carolina, it's going to be interesting there, but I think we all like their chances. To me, the biggest X factor is going to be Devontae Adams. Is he going to be 100% healthy come playoff time? Let's not forget, I think he led the NFL in receiving touchdowns. All of them came in the red zone from the 3 to 1 yard line. So he's the biggest threat in the red zone. If he's there 100% healthy, I think that's what the Rams are at their best. They're a top 10 defense. Blake Corum, Karen Williams been running the hell out of the ball. And like I said 30 seconds ago, Matthew Stafford is the league MVP. So, like the Rams a lot. Give me the Rams at number 3.
Weary for a very rainy, thunderstormy football game there in Carolina.
Kid, Joey and I, we gave our 2 and 1. So finish it off. What's your 2 and 1?
Number 2, give me the New England Patriots. I think there's no doubt the New England Patriots is a top 2 team in the NFL.
If the Patriots are 2, though, we all agree at 1 then.
Yeah, the Seahawks are number 1. I think there's no question about the Seahawks. Best record in football. Sammy D, been impressive. Mike McDonald, like I said, he's my pick of coach of the year. As you can see, I'm a Patriots fan. So
I like that, actually.
I think even with all the outside noise that's coming around right now with the Patriots, I think that even made us better and stronger. Like you said, Dill, you're saying Stevenson might be the lead back. Who cares? That guarantees me over 100 rushing yards.
You guys are playing as a complete team. I do see that.
That just shows me we're going to have over 100 rushing yards in the game. Thank you. Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, and the receiving Cordell. It doesn't matter who it is. Kyle Williams, the rookie. It doesn't matter. One of those guys are going to show up. Drake May, pencil him now for 250 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. You can just scribble that in as of right now. We have a number 1 or top 3 rushing defense. We have a top 10 defense. Stop playing. Give me the Patriots at number 2. At number 1, give me the Seattle Seahawks. I think there's no doubt after what we saw on Saturday Night Football.
They proved it to America. They proved it to everyone.
Honestly, Sammy D wasn't impressive. You can make the case Drake May and Matthew Stafford at 2 and 3 ranking are better or played better, but I think you got to respect what Sammy D has done.
Who's the only other quarterback to have back-to-back 14-win seasons?
Tom Brady.
It's your boy.
Yeah, Tom Brady. So I think defensively, Seattle has a top 5 defense. I think they have a top 5 rushing attack. And not for that,
Charbonnet's going crazy.
And with Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think he might be considered one of the best wide receivers in football. I'm going to say that's a top 12, top 10 receiving group because of him. And let's not forget, I think Sammy D played. I'm not saying he is, but he played like a top 5 quarterback for the majority of the season. So, no doubt, who's number 1? Seattle Seahawks.
Only pushback I have, they're not a top 5 defense. They are the best defense. What they were able to do against San Francisco on the road,
that was insane. They were averaging about 40 points for those 4-game win streaks. You mentioned,
they averaged over 32 points,
and they let them only put up 3. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how I didn't see this, but I'm looking back. Adam Schefter, November 12th. Travis Hunter's gone for the year. So he had a second doctor in Dallas look at him. And he apparently, not just his LCL, but he had additional damage to the knee. So he's out for 7 months. He won't be back till like May or June. So he'll be back next year, but he's gone. So
he needs to stick to one side of the ball.
Wow.
I hate to say it, man.
And, look. And that side is offense.
And yeah, we got to see if he could even take hits in the pro level.
All right, kid. That was fun. Before we get to the semifinals, a quick word. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market. Hands down, there's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks. So just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching the college football playoffs, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at the Gene Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, boys, let's start. We'll start with the Thursday game, and that is Miami taking on Ole Miss. Right now, Miami is -3.5, -164 on the money line. Ole Miss +3.5, +138. Total is 52.5. And this is in Glendale, Arizona at the Fiesta Bowl. Joe, I'll start with you. What do you like?
I like this game. You know, we've said it plenty of times, Elvis, Dylan, us three. We've talked about it that, these offenses, they win you games, but what wins your championships is defenses, right? And I do think on paper and what we've seen on the field that Miami does have a better defense. So they could run the ball. Mark Fletcher led the NCAA in rushing. Carson Beck seems to be a supreme game manager with the ability to score. He may not be as explosive at Trinidad Chambliss, but I think the controlling of the clock, the ability to run the ball, and the ability to stop. Look what happened in that Georgia game for Ole Miss, man. It was a high-scoring affair. And granted, that's Georgia. They're no pushover. But I think the SEC's down this year, and the Cinderella story for both teams, one's got to come to the end. I think it's actually more likely for Ole Miss. You move on from Lane Kiffin, who I think if he was there might have just been able to push you over a Mara Cristobal in the game plan, but I don't think a Pete Golding's going to be able to do that. And no slack on him. I think he's a great head coach, but it was sprung up on him and the team last minute, and they've done a lot. But I just think this is where it comes to an end. So give me Miami. I think that Miami will get the job done on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going to push Trinidad Chambliss, the Ole Miss team, to try to score the ball. And I think it's going to be, as you get in the fourth quarter, I think a couple consecutive turnovers to put a stamp in it. And I think that's what we're going to see.
E, what do you like?
I think it's hard to not at least respect what Miami has done over these last few weeks. I think I don't want to say it, but the U might be back. And I think that's great for college football. Let's just start there. Ole Miss, I know some people are like, oh, Ole Miss made it to the semifinals without Lane Kiffin. I'm going to be honest, I think that even shows how great of a job Lane Kiffin did. He built this program and then just made it to the semis without him. And I think the buck stops there. Ole Miss, I'm going to go with Miami. I don't know if I want to lay the 3.5. If you want to grab the money on -156, if you're a heavy hitter, I would just go with the win. Don't get me wrong. I think Miami's defense is going to be the reason why they win. And I think Joey hit the head on the coffin. Carson Beck has just been an elite game manager. And that's what you need during these games. He's been there and done that. He has experience. There's no doubt about it. But this team is driven by that defense. And I think that Ole Miss and that offense is going to have a tough time. So give me the U. And I think it's a great state for college football that Miami is back. Give me the U. On the money line, -156. I hate to be that guy.
Not so fast, my friends. Give me Ole Miss, baby. Give me them on the money line. The market is telling us this is going to be a shootout, and I think it is. With Trinidad Chambliss, Pete Golding, I appreciate what they're doing. And honestly, yeah, Lane Kiffin built the program, but the reason he left, he thought he wasn't going to win a national championship, and I hope they fucking do and shove it in his face.
That'd be amazing. He would be like, oh, I left at the wrong time.
I think.
No, come on, let's just be honest.
Because it had nothing to do with the money. Ole Miss was going to give him what LSU was going to give him.
I think it's came down to recruitment. We rather go LSU or Oxford, Mississippi. Let's just be honest.
LSU has more pull.
Right now, Ole Miss is better than
But
LSU.
Lane has been a grifter for himself.
As a man, you rather take your family to Oxford, Mississippi, or New Orleans?
Hey, I'll tell you right now, you go to any gas station in Mississippi, you're gonna find some good food.
I'm not
stopping
at
at
Oxford. I'm a rebel, baby.
I ain't stopping at no gas station in Mississippi.
Oh, you're missing out.
You're missing out.
I'm good.
I think it's going to be a shootout. I like the over. I think Trinidad it's a Cinderella. What did we talk about earlier with Illinois State? Right now, Ole Miss is that team, and I think it's going to be a field goal game. And I think Trinidad. Look at Georgia, and the problem that Miami has had were against teams that could score this year. They lost to they beat Notre Dame, excuse me, but they lost to Louisville. They were able to score the football. They lost to SMU. They were able to score the football. So that's been the problem with Miami. Against teams that could score the ball, Ole Miss is going to have it be a shootout. Now, can they stop anybody? We'll see. Now, I'll say this. If Miami rushes for 200 yards and controls the tempo, it's over. They're gonna blow Ole Miss out. But if it's a shootout, give me Ole Miss. I think they're gonna do it. I like Carson Beck rushing prop. Props.Cash, shout out them. 25% off your first month with code DREAM25. I like Carson Beck over 5.5 rushing yards. He ran for 23 against Ohio State, and I just think Ole Miss is going to be able to get. Yeah, he's going to be able to get it, and it's 5.5. I think he's going to be able to elude some pressure and get there. So I like over 5.5 rushing yards for Carson Beck as well.
I like a first half under. I think if Ole Miss is going to win this game, I think you're right. If Elvis and I are kind of sticking the money line on Miami, it might be worth the points. I just can't give Ole Miss that benefit of the doubt for them to burn me like that. And I think what you could do is you could take the first half under, and if Ole Miss is going to win, they're going to blow up in the second half like they did against Georgia.
We will see. That's why J. That's why they play the games, kid. That's why they play the games.
You play to win the game.
Let's go back to Atlanta, Georgia for the Mercedes-Benz Peach Bowl.
Should I go? You think I can get a ticket? No way.
Right now. Not for the price you want.
Yeah.
Definitely get a ticket.
Indiana laying 3.5. Oregon plus 3.5. Total is 48.5. Plus 164 for the Ducks. Minus 175 for Indiana. Joe, I started with you last time. I will start with E. Who do you like, kid?
I think Dan Lanning first deserves a lot of respect. I think he's a hell of a head coach. I think Oregon is a serious contender. I would have loved their chances against anybody but Indiana. I think Indiana has proven over the last 2 seasons. They only lost 1 game over the last 2 seasons. They're the best team in football. Mendoza's the best quarterback in football. Don't get me wrong. After what we saw with them do to Alabama, I'd be shocked if it's another blowout, but I wouldn't be surprised. Give me I'm gonna lay the 3.5 here with Indiana. I think right now they're just meant to be. They're a wagon, and I'll be honest. I think the head coach won't be denied. Give me Indiana minus 3.5.
Joe, what do you like?
Not only the head coach, but I think Fernando Mendoza. It wants to prove that he's a number 1 pick over these guys, because I think you got Dante Moore also wanting to become the number 1 pick. If he wins, right, you got to give him some credit. Be like, look what he's done all year, and he turns out to be the number 1 pick, worthy of the number 1 pick. So I think it's going to be a lot of Kurt Sagnetti and Fernando Mendoza. I had Oregon as the team moving on, and the previous week is my only win that I had. And I thought that maybe they'd get a little bit more points based off how Indiana played this year. But I guess looking back at the season when they had, it was rather close, right? It was a 2010 game, right? Indiana against Oregon. It was a close game if I recall. So if I were getting maybe closer to a touchdown, I might take the points. But once again, I'm just taking Indiana to win the game here, because I just think that right now, for me, also being biased towards not only Cinderella programs, as Indiana is one, also the chance to go undefeated. I think the main thing about college football is the fact that they've taken away the importance of the regular season and going undefeated. But if these guys can do it, they are on top with 0 in the loss column. And I think that to me means a lot, weighs a lot. So I'm going to be rooting for them, even though I did root for Oregon the last round. So, yeah, I got Indiana and Miami national championship, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, Indiana won 30-20 earlier in October.
10-point difference, yeah. 10 points.
And yes, this is my favorite game. This is my favorite play. I think Indiana is just far better than everybody, and it pains me to say that as an Ohio State fan, but I just think they're way better than everybody.
Wouldn't it have been
now.
Ohio State here, not Oregon? If the seeding,
that's
not how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Been
yeah,
Miami. It would have been Ole Miss and Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah. So I just think Fernando Mendoza, and look what he said after the game. He said we started rusty and they blew out Alabama and they wanted to run it up on them. So if they're on one, I just don't see how Oregon. Yes, to your credit, Dan Lanning's done a hell of a job, and this Oregon team is much different than the Oregon team they played in October. They're much better. Excuse me. Another play that I like is Fernando Mendoza over 20.5 rushing yards as well. He ran for his last time back in October. He ran for 31 yards against Oregon as well. So I think Oregon is going to get some pressure. I think Fernando
I go over all the every quarterback in this Final Four to go over in their rushing prop.
Yeah, I think they're going to elude the pressure, and I think Fernando Mendoza is sneakily, he's faster than I think a lot of people think. So he's good, and I just think they're gonna blow him out. I really do. I think they're just light years ahead of everyone. Give me Fernando Mendoza. Give me him everything. Give me Indiana -3.5. Ladder it to -7.5. I think they win by like a touchdown. 8 points.
What a final from Miami. If we have it as we do, except for Ole Miss, you have it. One of the most historic programs ever to Indiana, because we have unanimously Indiana making it. So one of the most walked over programs. To get that final, I think speaks a lot about college football.
I got two final scores for you. I'm gonna pull an E. Ole Miss 37, Miami 34 game-winning field goal in a shootout. Ole Miss goes to the national championship to take on Indiana as they beat Oregon 34-20 in a non-competitive Peach Bowl. So those are my picks, boys. Kid, let's get to the NBA. As you know, I am not a fan of this guy, but he is big enough where it is news. And apparently him, Trae Young, as I'm talking about, and the Hawks, they're working on together, trying to get out of Atlanta. And apparently the Wizards are his top preferred trade destination, which is very surprising. Are you surprised that he wants to go to Washington of all places?
Yeah, that's surprising. Not surprising that he's looking for a trade. I think Trae Young, when healthy, is one of the best point guards in the NBA. There's no doubt. He's a 20 and 10 guy. Who wouldn't want a 20 and 10 guy? But I think the question mark here is, or at least the head scratcher is, why Washington? Maybe he's from Washington. I'm not sure if he grew up or lived in Washington. But why not go to a contender? That's my thing. Why not try to go somewhere and compete for a title? You haven't been in the playoffs. Last time we saw him in the playoffs, he went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, no, he lost to the Knicks in 5. But prior to that, he went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Dolo led his team there, averaging damn near 30 points a game. So, I think there's no doubt what Trae Young is capable of doing as a point guard in this league. It's just, why go to in my opinion, a worse situation than you're already in. So that's the only head scratcher I got. I think Trae Young, like I said, is still a great point guard. It's just, why go to a worse situation? That's my question to him.
The new skid came out that no one wants to play with him. That's the thing, and even his teammates, they don't want to play with him. That's what they're saying. Shams is reporting that, not me.
Yeah, Shams is saying that.
So
they're saying it's financial for both teams. That the Wizards are one of the few teams that have the ability to maybe give up some money and a young player.
If I'm a team like the Houston Rockets, with their feet being out, I could use somebody that could give me 20 and 10 from the point guard position.
Him and KD together, though, bro.
No, they can't do that. No, like you said, nobody wants to play with Trae Young.
Yeah,
I think in Atlanta, I guarantee you, there's maybe not hundreds, but a handful of players outside of the NBA that would love to play with Trae Young. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Once you get a good player or someone that can elevate your game, yeah, I guess it is. But then the personality comes in, you realize what the person is, and you're like, bro, there's a cancer in the locker. I need him out.
I guarantee, if you put Trae Young on Dallas, the Dallas Mavericks will be better today.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. They may be better. They may be better.
Still, but they'll be better. If you put Trae Young in Minnesota Timberwolves will be a better team.
But my theory on that is that they may be better tomorrow, but not 6 months down the line when it comes playoff time, when there's squabbling in the locker room.
Like, that's playoff time. I think that's when you're going to see Trae Young play at his best.
All the boosters, everyone for Ole Miss, why they didn't like Lane Kiffin? Because it's just like Trae Young. They're looking at for who? Numero uno. They're looking after themselves and not their team that's in front of them.
Real quick, he'd meant to say he was born in Lubbock, Texas, where Texas Tech. Then he went to high school.
Houston is live. Houston.
And then he went to high school in Norman, and then obviously he went to the University of Oklahoma. So he's a Southern boy. Yeah. But yeah, let's get what you got for picks for Thursday. Only 4 games on the slate, though.
Yeah, as of right now, only 2 lines are out. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, they dropped? What's going on right now? Like, what's going on? Have you seen any of the scores or anything? I know there's games, right?
No game started as of yet.
20 minutes.
The marquee matchup. I think it's going to be a great matchup for tonight. Real quick, Los Angeles Clippers taking on the New York Knicks. Knicks lost 3 straight games. Clippers playing at an all-high level. I would probably take the 5.5 with the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard's playing at elite level. And not for nothing, I would take San Antonio. I don't know if I'll lay the 7.5. If anything, put them in a teaser. LeBron is not playing back-to-back. We saw him and Luka dominate last night. But for Thursday, like I said, there's only 2 lines out. Miami versus Chicago, no lines there. But I would like Miami in that matchup against Chicago. I would lay the points there on the road. Indiana Pacers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte laying 4.5. The Pacers haven't won a game since December, I think, 14th or something like that. It's hard to bet with them. So, don't really like to lay with Charlotte Hornets, but we just saw the Hornets beat the OKC Thunder by 26 points.
Yeah.
Come on now. I'm going to lay the 4.5 here with the Hornets. They might burn me, but I'm going to lay it. Give me the 4.5 with the Charlotte Hornets.
I'm with you.
Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going to take the +3 with the Cavaliers. Don't get me wrong, I like Minnesota. I think both teams are pretty hot. Both won 4 out of the last 5 games. But give me the +3 with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Hey, E, you guys beat the Denver Nuggets the other day. 11 wins.
Junior revenge spot.
Yeah.
The Nets.
He's being one of the best shooters in the NBA this year. Watch out.
Yo, I'm with the Hornets tomorrow. I take them on the money line because the Pacers, I think in the last 2 matchups, they've beat them. The Pacers have beat the Hornets. And so I think the Hornets are due at home.
They're so bad. LaMelo Ball's actually had a pretty good last few games as well. So,
but they're due.
He's another guy that's gone, I think.
And not for nothing, I just want to say for the record, because I didn't love him coming out of college, but we're seeing the emergence of Brandon Miller right now. I think he's coming along. He's having a monstrous.
That's my cousin.
So shout out Brandon Miller.
Shout out Brandon.
He's definitely having a good season. Shout out him.
Kids, we'll see you on Friday. Super wild card weekend. We're here for the picks, the props, everything. Boys, any last words before we get up out of here?
Let's just have a great week. It's gonna be interesting these next couple of days because starting tomorrow, we're gonna have 5 straight days of football.
I love that.
Let's go. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
It feel good to get back with you boys.
Feels good. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy the games, and we will see you guys on Friday. Peace.